Welcome to I Drink Your Podcast.
Oh gosh, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder.
Wait, you like that?
No,
you don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
No, how about that? You like that?
A little better.
Bread makes you fat?
Does this count as annoying?
Just tell me what you want me to fuck!
Not you, and not you.
Okay, I think it's time to take off your clothes and jump me.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool?
I drink your podcast! I drink it up!
Welcome, everybody, to the Season 2 finale of I Drink Your Podcast. We have made it through the entire year, watching way too many 2010 movies, and we're ready to talk about every single one of them. And with me tonight is a wonderful group of people. My name is Ben. We've also got my co-host, Emily.
Hello, everyone.
And we also have a ragtag group in Brandon.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Wesley.
Am I the rag or the tag?
You're definitely the tag.
Yeah.
And here comes the rag. Dylan.
Yeah. What?
Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us and continuing to follow us. We do appreciate you. If this is your first episode, welcome. If it's not, thank you so much for your support. We love each and every one of you.
I'm also impressed that they've lasted this long.
Yeah, we're in like 120 episodes by now. Like, you should have abandoned us a long time ago. But thank you
Such
for not.
faith in the product.
Yeah.
They will.
Just give them another episode.
Yeah,
They will.
This is the one. This is the nail. Please like, rate, subscribe, share us with a friend or two, and you can follow us on social media at IDYP_podcast on Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us at idrinkyourpodcast@gmail.com. Before we get started with our discussions on the movies of 2010, we're going to do a little looking ahead to 2011, and I asked each of you to come up with a drink for a movie that you're excited for us to do in 2011, and we're going to start with Emily.
Fuck yeah. I would like to introduce you to a super blue and frosty as fuck delightful drink. I'm calling it the Nick Frost, inspired by a certain sci-fi 2011 movie featuring a future Star Wars main character. Does anyone know the movie?
Attack the
Block.
I do.
It is Attack the Block. I am so fucking excited to watch this. I came home one night, like in the recent months, and Corbin was watching it. And I briefly saw Nick Frost in it, and I saw John Boyega in it, and I saw a lot of blue things, and I was like, holy fucking shit, we're watching this? So I'm really fucking pumped for Attack the Block.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a good one. Wesley, which one are you excited for 2011?
All right. So for 2011, I am excited to both turn a new leaf and see some new movies. And one of my favorite movies from 2011, at least it was, we'll see how it goes in the future, but I'm drinking a Virgin Dark and Stormy. And that is in honor of Ryan Gosling's character in Drive. He's got the whole dark and stormy steez going on.
That's a
Fuck
good
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Brandon, which drink do you got for your 2011 movie?
I have a Long Island iced tea for my movie because it's like it feels as though like it's like a whole bunch of stuff at once. It's like a whole bunch of different types of alcohol. So the movie I'm excited about is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yeah.
So I figured multiple alcohol, multiple different perspectives.
Yeah, good one.
I have feelings about that movie.
I haven't seen that movie.
Ooh.
Dylan, what do you got?
The movie I'm the most excited for is, if you can tell by my name that I put up on here, Peter Vincent. I am excited for Fright Night. I love both versions of the movie. I think they're fantastic. So the drink I have here is a nice dry gin, because the movie takes place in Nevada, Arizona, in that southwest area. So it's a dry gin. And I mixed it with raspberry Arizona iced tea.
Oh.
And believe it or not, the raspberry flavor kind of matches up pretty nicely with the gin flavor. Kind of has a nice come down, so it's not that bitter of a taste that gin can have.
Well done.
What does gin taste like for somebody who doesn't drink alcohol?
Pine tree.
I'm just kidding.
It tastes like heaven in a glass.
Ben, what about you?
The movie I'm more excited for is one that I heard about from a friend many years ago, but never got around to seeing. It's called Beginners. So I went with a Beginners whiskey, which is just Jameson on the rocks. Beginners is a romantic comedy with Ewan McGregor and Christopher Plummer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a combination I want to see.
Mm-hmm. So that will be exciting. We'll be doing all those movies that were just listed in our 2011 season coming up with the new year. So please check us out for that. But we need to wrap up 2010 before we can move on to that. And the way we're going to do that is by drafting movies and building a list of our favorite movies of 2010. We'll eventually put these lists on Twitter so you can vote on who has the best list of 4 movies that they've accumulated.
It's me.
We're going to do this serpentine style for those who know anything about drafts. It's going to start with one person, go through 5, and then start and go back the other way in the next round. So we're going to start. First movie to be drafted is going to be drafted by Wesley. Wesley, which movie do you want for sure on your 2010 list?
Oh, geez. I mean, golly, I don't know how I missed this question. What do you mean? Just the top pick of all? That was the top one?
What do you mean you missed this
Wesley,
question? This is the entire episode.
This is the main thing.
I have tops from all of the things.
Did you not read 2010 movie draft?
I thought so. My bad. Come to me next. I'll be ready.
Oh man, that was such
So Wesley's not
fucking
starting?
good intro though. Just pick Scott Pilgrim and let's go,
Okay, give me
baby.
1 second. It's going to be Scott Pilgrim.
Well,
I mean,
then
like,
it's
yeah.
definitely
what's-
gonna be
then
Scott
let's-
Pilgrim.
You can figure it out because you don't pick till 10th. So let's start it over as if you knew
Okay,
what the
that's what I
fuck
was
you were
saying. Like,
doing.
I don't know what's going on. Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, good pick.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. What is
It's
it
a
about?
no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, why? Why is it a no-brainer?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
That's it.
and video games. No, the comedy. I mean, it's one of the funniest movies ever. It's got a great video game. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got great actors. I just does a bunch of new stuff too that doesn't really exist in a lot of other movies.
Okay. Good pick. Well prepared, well researched. Moving on to Dylan.
I'm for my first pick in the draft, I'm gonna go with Shutter Island.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm going with that one because it was Martin Scorsese, who's one of my favorite directors of all time. DiCaprio gives a amazing performance in a not typical DiCaprio role. Like, you know, he's playing somebody different. And I just think it's got such good twists and turns where even after you've watched it once, you can come back to it and then you start seeing little, you know, you see more and more and more. And it's nice to have a movie that has that kind of unravel to it that I like.
So is Shutter Island then your favorite movie of the year? Since you just picked it first for yourself.
I would say probably in that, yeah, if I were to keep coming back to a movie, I really enjoy that one. I haven't watched it in a while, but yeah, when I'm in the mood, it's pretty damn spotless.
Your defense is already falling apart. Come prepared, bro.
Okay.
Wesley, you
I
suck.
think you're fucking funny, don't you?
Okay, I'm next. I am taking not the top movie on my list. I'm going with my second favorite, but I'm being strategic because I think my first favorite will be there when I come back around. I'm hoping for drafting purposes. I'm trying to be a little strategic. I'm taking Black Swan. I love that movie. I love what Aronofsky did. I like the themes in that movie about you just being so focused on your craft that you kind of lose sight of yourself, trying to climb the ladder like she does in that movie by any means necessary. And I love the horror feel of it at times, especially the grotesque body horror that we see in it. I really like what he did there. And, I'm a fan of movies that take place on the stage. And the ending of Black Swan all taking place in this performance is just a great way to end that movie, and I really enjoyed it.
Alluding to one of my answers.
Ooh. Brandon. What's your first pick?
My first pick, surprisingly enough, the movie that I didn't want to watch that I ended up loving the most is probably The Social Network.
Okay.
I did not realize how good that movie was. I knew it was going to be done well from the director. The cinematographer, Jeff Conworth, is amazing. It's going to pop up a lot tonight for a lot of stuff that I saw in it that just resonated with me. I thought it was just an amazing film from beginning to end. Again, Garfield's my favorite Spider-Man, so
yeah,
I think he killed it from beginning to end too. It was just a good film. I enjoyed it.
When did they have a cat Spider-Man?
I was waiting for you to say that.
All right, my draft is ready.
Oh, good.
I was going to make a Bill Murray joke, but I liked yours too.
Okay, Emily, we're on you, and you get 2 picks in a row.
Yeah, and this is actually stressing me out like crazy because I'm realizing that you all are picking some of these really well-known, big name kind of things, and I'm sitting here going,
oh, you mean draft style?
My top 2 are going to be not anyone, like no one has seen them on Twitter, or like only snobs have seen them on Twitter. But I did go with my, I think, 2 favorite movies.
I'm really worried you're going to take mine.
So Boy is definitely going to be there.
Okay, Boy, good pick.
Boy
I'm
is
feeling
on there.
safe.
So Boy is, I had never seen it before. My sister had sent me the ending music video years ago and was like, you have to watch this movie. And I completely forgot about it. I was just like, this is super weird. What is happening? Awesome. And moved on. But this movie is so genuine and heartwarming and silly and completely out there. And for those of you that haven't seen it, you love Taika Waititi, like you really need to see this movie. I was blown away by how incredible it was.
I mean, you got Brandon to take his shirt off just by talking about it.
I know. Dang. I know.
But again, I don't think a lot of people in like a regular movie going sense have seen it. So I'm probably fucking myself over by picking this because now I am going to again pick a foreign movie. My second pick, again, one of my absolute favorite movies that I saw was The Man from Nowhere.
Oh.
I loved that fucking movie. The Man from Nowhere is a Korean action film that has some of the best action I think I've seen since, I mean, The Raid came after, but like this is really, really fucking good. And it also has a really intriguing story, but I was so impressed by literally everything that happened on screen. So those are my top 2 picks, which is probably not great, but I don't care.
Emily, I love that you're picking movies that are your favorites, though, and not what's going to win a Twitter poll. I love that. Yeah. It's great.
Thank you.
Well picked. Good job. Okay, we're back to Brandon.
Lucky for me, I researched both strategies.
Oh, so. Good.
You did a few mock drafts while you were in between everything?
I do have an unfair advantage of listening to about 250 podcast episodes of drafting things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so I'm me, right?
Yeah.
So the next movie I like, again, another one that I wanted to watch but never got a chance to, and I'm glad I was able to watch it, is Blue Valentine. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it mostly because for like these really uncomfortable up close shots, it made it feel like as though you're like right in the relationship with them. You feel like something's wrong. You can't really pinpoint what it is. The low light shooting that they did in it, I thought was great. I just enjoyed the film. I have watched it twice. I almost watched it 3 times. I really, really enjoyed a lot of parts of that film.
Guys got some good picks. This is going really well, guys. Way to go.
I mean, that is really going to appeal to the audiences.
Yeah.
Of Twitter.
Yeah. Twitter loves Blue Valentine.
And they love The Social Network. Fuck Facebook.
The fact that none of us were all on the same episode, I think we're going to have a very, very, very draft.
A very, very draft?
Good
varied.
Point. Good point.
Very, very draft.
We're going to have a very, very draft. Good point there.
I will say this. Scott Pilgrim was like actually like one of my number 1 films.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim's going to win Twitter. I already won. I won before you guys even started planning.
Wesley saying very varied and all of us looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about? very, very what? I was a little worried after Emily went so obscure, but my favorite movie of the year is still on the list. So I'm going to take Dogtooth.
Oh, you fucker.
Which is Yorgos Lanthimos and the Greek new wave of cinema. It is so different from anything you've seen before. Right off the bat, it takes you to a place where you don't really know what's going to happen. However, it's so meticulously shot and interesting to look at every frame. You may not fully understand the characters of it, but that's okay. Just go along for the ride and you'll have a great time. Dogtooth is my pick.
Ah, you fucker.
Because it's definitely a ride. I'm not going to bullshit you. It's
It's a
definitely
ride. Dylan.
All right. So I started off with a movie that's a bit of a downer, and it ends on a bit of a downer. And so I'm going to go with a movie that ends kind of down, but in the end makes you feel good. And I'm going to go with...
You said it was down.
So I am going to go with Marky Mark and Christian Bale in The Fighter. On the episode that I did on that was one of my favorite movies that was up for Best Picture that year. It should not have won, but I thought it was an amazing movie. Again, starts on a very dark tone, but gets pretty, actually has a nice happy ending that a lot of those sports movies do. But the big difference with this movie is it was based on truth. It was based on real people. So I like that. And I like the town and love the people.
Aren't a lot of sports movies based on real stories? I don't actually know, but I feel like a lot of them are. Maybe not most.
Inspired.
Or inspired where, it's like some of it's like a 90-10 or an 80-20.
I don't know a lot about sports when it comes to film. I just was like, wouldn't it be real? Because inspiration?
Really? Because when I think Emily, I think sports and movies for sure.
Y'all got Emily fucked up, man. She's an amazing athlete. Stop playing.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, sports other than swimming. And
she's
just
a mathlete,
stuff.
not an athlete.
It was more a joke about the movies, because this podcast is documentation of how bad she is at movies.
No.
So if we're putting those in the same category,
wait. Am I bad at
Not
movies
bad,
or
no.
just really delayed?
you have not seen movies. You are not bad. You are very good at watching, when you can stay awake.
I'm
movies.
so good at watching movies when I can stay awake. Get that on a t-shirt for me.
So I can't believe you guys are just giving me this draft, because Emily and Ben are going for the crazy movies. Brandon's going for the real good ones. And Dylan's going for whatever the fuck he's going for, probably horror eventually. And you guys all just left me with the bangers. Like, I get to pick 2 and 3 after I shit out Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, bang away, baby.
Okay, well then next up, I am taking some more shit. That's right, The Other Guys.
Okay.
Maybe not your favorite, maybe not my favorite, probably not Will Ferrell's favorite, but it's got to be up there in terms of cameos, one-liners, and gifts that I send at work. Specifically, I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly.
And the amount of people that have seen The Other Guys is pretty high.
Okay, Wesley.
It's more than whatever you picked.
What are you following that up with?
I am following that up with, I think, what's going to maybe be on other people's lists more than most of my other ones. And this one, I think, is a sleeper for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I'm going to punch you in your liver.
Yeah, take that, Dylan.
Oh my God.
Which part
you got to find it first, motherfucker. I don't even know where it is.
There's a lot of kidneys in there.
Yeah, I got 3 kidneys, though. You might have a better odds at that.
Figure out that maze.
That maze of
Tucker and Dale,
organs.
absolutely incredible. I don't think you need to know much other than it's lighthearted for a horror movie. So if that's kind of your thing, like that cabin in the woods kind of feel, it's go see it. Also, I want to say that my podcast name on here, because I think it's pretty funny, is I Drank Your Podcast, and all I got was this lousy liver.
No surprise that Wesley's going straight comedies with his movies.
Tucker and Dale? Yeah.
Dylan?
Well, now that Wesley's completely fucked up my draft,
With
here.
one guess? Come on.
It's throwing it all off.
Should have prepared
man.
better.
Now I'm gonna go with my artsy film that I enjoyed, and by artsy I mean foreign. Secret in Their Eyes.
Okay.
Secret in Their Eyes.
Really
I think
great.
is a great movie for people who love mysteries and kind of that kind of film, but also people who are very not into foreign films. I think this movie has a good plot and story that even if you don't like reading subtitles, this movie is so good it won't matter.
Mm-hmm. My next pick is going to be what was described on the podcast as the most Ben movie ever made. I'm going Never Let Me Go. It is the British dystopian movie.
Fuck you!
With
Fuck
Brandon's
you!
with Brandon's favorite Andrew Garfield. It's just such
I'll
an
fucking
emotional
punch you in the
powerhouse of a
face.
movie. It's
Oh, that
affecting
Garfield.
throughout. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to say too much about it, but check it out. Very melancholy. I love those movies that kind of really show you a side of humanity you haven't seen before and then allow you to reflect on that. And that's why I went with Never Let Me Go. Much to
I
Emily's
forgot
chagrin.
I said that. I should have gone with that first. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah, I really want to know what Emily's opinion on this pick is. Was this on your list?
Brandon, what's your next one?
With the third pick in my draft, I'm gonna go with my Michael Jordan of the draft, and that's Inception.
Oh,
I love Inception.
I could have taken it last round, but I wanted to fuck Dylan.
I think I might have mentioned it before, and I'd say it every time. Like I was doing film stuff that year, and we lost our shit when we saw Inception. We thought it was just amazing. So and for no other reason than, again, it's a cinematography thing for me all the time. But like the performances are good. The story was different, something I've never seen before. So that's my Jordan pick.
Yeah,
Inception.
You're building quite the list there, Brandon. Let's go to Emily for 2 straight picks. Her last 2 picks.
Kick-Ass.
Solid. It was next on my list.
I mostly chose that to fuck over Wesley.
Wow.
It's a bold choice, knowing I've got a lot of comedies.
She's learned the game quickly.
I'm regretting it right now.
She just picked it. She's already regretting it.
No, it's fine. I'm trying to like balance out my picks so that they're not all similar. And so that's kind of why I was like, okay, I got to pick Kick-Ass. Yeah, I loved Kick-Ass. I had never seen it before, although I had seen parts of it. And so I didn't really know what I was expecting. And so when I got what I got, including Nick Cage burning alive and screaming directions to his daughter, while also having just the most silly interactions between different characters. And shit, I can't remember the actress's name, but man, some of those action scenes are fucking dope.
Yeah.
So,
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, she really fucking nails it.
Who's grown up to be an amazing actress, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She's really killed it, a lot of stuff she's done.
And the last pick, Emily.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Take that, Ben.
Yeah, that sucks.
We all knew it was there.
I was really caught between Mother and Animal Kingdom because my other like top ones were taken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's How to Train Your Dragon for me. I distinctly remember seeing that the first time and weeping with just the comedy, the story itself, the animation, everything about it. And then on top of it, having amazing sequels. It's just a fantastic trilogy, even though I haven't seen the third one. I just know from everyone, Connor, we love you. He's like, the third one is amazing. So I'm going to have to 100% watch all of them in a row at some point. But How to Train Your Dragon has to make my list. Otherwise, I'm not Emily. Let's be honest.
I was surprised it was still
Is
on
that the
board
most
even.
Emily movie of 2010?
Yeah, probably. Although Never Let Me Go was a very huge disappointment that Ben took it. Fuck you. Still angry.
Brandon, your last pick.
My last pick, I had to have an honorable mention, but my last pick is going to be Despicable Me.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And the reason being is because it's and I know my picks are kind of all over the place. It's kind of like that because there's so many I think you can pull different stuff from different films and find something. But I think the reason why it's Despicable Me is because it's more so about finding a family versus than actually just being like, okay, we have to beat somebody. Like it's that journey that Groot takes to realize that he needs to be a part of something more than just him being a villain. Stuff is more than that.
That's so sweet.
I really liked it. I really liked the film. So that's probably the one. My honorable mention, I'll wait till later. I'm not going to say it now, but
my last pick, I thought I was going to get lucky and end up with 4 of my top 6 with How to Train Your Dragon staying on that list so long. But instead, I'll have to settle for what is a great comedy movie that I think really fleshes out my list as being the best one of all of these. And that's Four Lions.
It's a good choice.
Thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was funny from start to finish. We talked about how it made you question whether you're a good person or not because you're laughing at these terrorists. It has some of the funniest bits. I love the episodic feel to it, the skit structure to the entire plot, and it has some of the funniest moments of the entire year. I feel you could have 4 or 5 of them that would sit up there with anything else that we saw in 2010. And if you aren't sure which ones, please go back and listen to our Four Lions episode because we go real deep into all the stuff that made us laugh so hard.
It also took us a month to record.
Well, for reasons. Yeah. Dylan, last pick.
I'm rounding out my love of New England with The Town. I thought was a fantastic movie.
Good pick.
You know, this was the movie that showed us Ben Affleck is a good director, B, still a good actor, and just an all-around fantastic movie. Good heist movie, good drama, good all-around put-together movie, I thought.
Who directed that?
Affleck.
The Duck?
Yep. Gilbert Godfrey directed it. Yep.
He's wicked smart. He's wicked good at this movie, eh?
I love Dylan taking all movies that take place in New England and then one Argentina movie, which is like the New England of South America. Well done.
That's hilarious.
Last pick, Wesley. What is it?
Bring it home.
In my hours of planning and research that I did for this draft,
days,
I am happy to say that I have 3 options left.
Wow.
I already know what I'm going to pick because it was decided for me when Inception came off my board, and it became clear that I chose comedy. So comedy chose me when Brandon chose Inception.
Comedy comes in 4s?
Comedy, yeah, to the rules of 4s, naturally. I had another point, but I forgot it, so I'm just going to say MacGruber. I can't believe Ben didn't pick it. It's just got to be MacGruber. Other guys, MacGruber, Tucker, Dale, Scotty P. That's a solid list.
It's definitely a type.
I mean, okay, it is a type, but there's a lot of that type. Yeah. Anyway, MacGruber is hilarious. It's dumb. It's maybe the hot rod of this year. No, I'd say The Other Guys is the hot rod of this year.
I think Hot Rod is its own thing, and you can't bring anything close to Hot Rod.
You're right, Emily.
I know, because you've
I've
probably
never
said
been in
that.
more agreement.
I'm going to throw a curveball. We're adding one movie to your list. However, it is not a good movie. You are allowed to strike one movie from the earth that we watched in 2010. Tell me your least favorite movie or the movie that you most wish that we had not watched. And we're going to start with Emily.
Another Year. It's gone.
Yes, it is. What didn't you like about Another Year, Emily? I thought
literally everything about it. It can go fuck its own ass. And maybe you'll like that, great. But like, I'm not judging that part. It's so bad. It can go jump into Lake Superior. That's what we used to say in Duluth.
That sounds like a Duluth thing to say, yeah.
It is.
Why don't you go jump in the lake?
Brandon, which movie are you striking from the earth? Yep.
Dogtooth.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I did not like it. I couldn't do it. I tried so hard. I watched it and I was like, I just don't. I think the reason being is it didn't it didn't sit with me in a way that I felt that it should have.
Okay.
There's been other movies that are similar to like that. Like, I don't know if anybody's seen The Lobster. I like The Lobster, and the lobster kind of felt like that, but it felt like it was going someplace. This felt like it just sat in a room. And it never got outside. Like, it was okay.
She literally got outside the house. Sorry.
You know what it felt like? It felt like I was waiting for something to happen, and it didn't happen. That's what it felt like. It felt like Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Like, you're waiting for it, and it never happened. And all the build up, everything else was cool. It just didn't happen. So it just didn't happen for me. And the cinematography was cool. The acting is cool. I don't mind it was a foreign film. Everything else was great about it. It was just that one thing that didn't turn the corner for me. And I kept waiting for it. And when it didn't happen, I was like, ugh.
Wow. Okay.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Does that mean Ben's draft only has 4 picks now? Or 3 picks?
No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. I mean, here's the thing. It's still a good film. It's like,
but you scorched
you
it
just
from
wish
the
you
earth.
had never watched it.
Because it's like,
no, he said he wished no one ever watched it.
Well, it's like, you know what? It's mostly a part of it is my fault because I thought it was going to be something that it wasn't. And then when it wasn't that, and I was waiting for that thing, it didn't happen. So for me, it was like I didn't like it. It's like watching a movie that you think is supposed to be about one thing. Like, there's this one movie that came out not too long ago. It's like a Christian movie, and everybody thought it was supposed to be, oh, it's Christian stuff and Black people and blah, blah, blah. But it's something a totally different thing, and nobody liked it. Like, I enjoyed it because it wasn't what it was supposed to be. This was something that I was waiting for, and I didn't see what I was waiting for. So I was like, I can't get on with it.
I think that's exactly like when you go to eat something and it doesn't taste like the thing you thought it was going to taste like.
Oh my God,
and
that's
you're like,
so it.
This is a delicious cookie, but I thought it was going to be a steak, and now it's horrible.
And it's right. And here's the thing. It's not that the cookie's bad. There's nothing wrong with the cookie. It's like, I thought it was going to taste like this. And you'll keep eating the cookie because, you know, it's actually pretty good. Like, the movie's good. It just didn't taste too well to me.
Well, my movie I picked is just a straight up bad cookie. And that is The King's Speech. Fucking
no, that was mine.
Wipe it from the earth.
Damn it.
I want it wiped from the earth so that all these other movies that I actually like that came out this year have a chance to actually win Best Picture. Because the fact that this won, it's completely undeserved. Tom Hooper's a fucking hack. The movie is just not enjoyable. It looks like it's a made-for-TV movie, and that's what it feels like. It's not good. I don't see the appeal. Strike it from the earth.
You loved Exam. Sorry.
Exam's not on my list, but I liked Exam. I enjoyed Exam more than King's Speech.
Wow.
This wouldn't be on television because they couldn't get it past the censors for all of the mouth noises.
Oh, King's Speech?
Yeah. We are talking about King's Speech, right?
Yeah.
Is it bad? I never went to see that film.
No,
I just never had nothing.
Don't waste your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't.
Dylan, give us your strike it from the earth choice.
It's a movie that both you and Emily just mentioned, and that's Exam.
Okay.
If I recall, I enjoyed the movie, but again, there are movies that have that very similar same plot that are more interesting to watch. The one that comes to me is Cube.
Yep.
I think is a much better version of that kind of idea of being locked in a room and, you know, like an escape room.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out how to get out. I thought that movie had a lot more to it than Exam did. I just, you know, it was good for what it was, but, you know, would I ever want to watch it again? No.
Wesley.
I can't believe you guys gave me the draft and then give me the honor of dropping the final hammer on a shitty movie that doesn't deserve to exist. I mostly hate it because of the legacy that it's created and the terror that I am forced to endure. Most specifically when I was in the hospital and Liberty Mutual commercials were heavy on rotation. And I wish that Despicable Me had never been created because I fucking hate those minions.
Oh my God.
Wesley, you and Corbin are going to be best friends.
Gonna be.
The blasphemy. That's sacrilege.
It's the fucking worst.
God. How do you not like Minions?
I really
The movie was okay. If the Minions were not part of pop culture, especially as long as they've been prevalent, like I'm talking about a movie that came out 12 years ago, is still a major mascot for a commercial that runs once a commercial break when you're in the hospital.
I was just really hoping someone was going to get rid of The Kids Are All Right. It's fine.
They're all
Whatever.
right.
Moving on.
Yeah, that movie's all right.
Or is it all right?
They're all right. Yeah.
It's all conservatives.
God.
So those are our lists. Wesley had Scott Pilgrim, The Other Guys, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, and MacGruber. Dylan had Shutter Island, The Fighter, Secret in Their Eyes, and The Town. I had Black Swan, Dogtooth, Never Let Me Go, and Four Lions. Brandon had Social Network, Blue Valentine, Inception, and Despicable Me. Emily had
That's
Boy,
a good list.
Man from Nowhere, Kick-Ass, and How to Train Your Dragon. Brandon's got a real good list going.
Brandon's winning for sure.
Okay, well, we'll find out. We'll throw it on Twitter
Hey.
over the holidays, and we'll see what happens.
It's a team thing, y'all. It's a team thing. It's nobody's
The
fault.
people who listen to the episode will not vote for me. The people who just read the list, I'm that guy.
Okay, pretty confident.
This one was for you people that aren't listening.
We have 11 categories that we're nominating for awards. So we're going to go through these, and we've got an order for each one. And we're going to start with, what was the most memorable first-time watch that you had this year, Brandon?
Most memorable first time watch? I'm gonna just sit with The Social Network. It just blew me. The opening scene blew me away. I'm sorry. It's just something about that film that I did not expect it to be as good as it was. And the first time watching it, I was for it to be have no action, nobody's getting killed, shot, no sex scenes, no nothing that you normally watch as a rated R movie. It was a rated R, PG-13, whatever it was. I was into it. I was 100% into it, and I enjoyed it.
My most memorable first-time watch is a movie that's continued to stick with me, and I think about parts of it at least once a week, and it's Dogtooth. It's so weird, and it's easily the most memorable for me, just in how worried I was that was going to be the straw that caused Brandon to quit. I legit thought Brandon was going to quit after watching that movie. And I texted him during the movie and was like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, this is so weird. I'm glad he didn't quit, but that made it very memorable for me.
It was a lot, man. I didn't know what the fuck I was watching. I'm so serious.
Dylan, most memorable first time watch.
I'm going to go with The Secret in Their Eyes. You know, again, when it comes to foreign films, I am very much like most general audiences. I thought, foreign, I'm going to have to read it. And didn't bother me at all. You know, I just think sometimes foreign films can be a little bit much for the everyday American audience. And again, I thought this was very digestible and anybody could watch it and really enjoy it.
Wesley.
My most memorable first time watch, I think, was probably at least in the top of the people who watched it. But it's Four Lions, which we already mentioned. It was one of the only movies that I actually hadn't seen that I got brought on for it this year. So it was probably the only one that actually qualified. And I didn't know if we were counting like the movies that we watched this year, but had the most memorable first watch when we did watch it for the first time.
Year.
Which I picked Inception, because the first time you watch Inception is a mind blow.
Emily.
My turn. I was caught between two, but since, Ben, you picked Dogtooth, I can definitely go with my other one. Mother from 2010.
What?
This movie starts with...
Mother's from 2010?
This is a 2010 movie?
Well, I'm saying it because it actually was like 2008.
Yeah.
So, right. So I'm like saying like, hey, we're calling it 2010, even though it's not.
Mm-hmm.
This movie has one of the best actresses I think I've ever seen. She is absolutely fantastic, start to finish, especially in just such a weird beginning too. This like very vibrant blue dress in this field, and she's dancing, and it gets really dark but comedic, and you know, it's exactly what you'd expect from a Bong Joon-ho movie in terms of you don't know what the fuck is happening. It is excellent.
I watched that movie.
I'm really, really happy that I got to see it for the first time for this show.
Next award we're going to give out is favorite opening scene, and I get to go first. So let me paint this picture for you all. It's a dirt road.
Don't pick mine.
There's a bunch of chairs scattered about.
Not my movie.
And a car that drives up, hitting every single chair. A cop gets out of the trunk and delivers just a batshit opening monologue about movies. Rubber immediately takes you off any preconceived notions that you might have and lets you know that they are going to go wherever the fuck they want, so hang on. Why is Rubber my favorite opening scene? No reason.
I get the joke. No one else does.
No, that's okay. Dylan.
My favorite opening scene, I hate to keep mentioning the same movies, but I got to go with The Fighter. I thought The Fighter, with the opening scene and credits and everything, we got an idea of who our main characters, what they are like, who they are, the town that they come from. It gets just, gets you really in depth into what this town is, who the people are, and who these two brothers are and their connection with each other. And also the opening song for it just kind of pulls you in too. It's got that energy that pulls you into the movie.
Nice. Emily.
I'm so happy I get to do this one. Scott Pilgrim has the best fucking opening of all these movies, and you all know it. It goes right into the graphic novel feel. It goes right into the character moments, and then completely subverts your expectations with the opening credits and this song. And wow, does Edgar Wright know how to frame things with just such an expertise that the whole opening scene is fucking incredible.
This is a good movie.
Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody should have picked that first. My favorite opening scene, I think, is legendary. I love the movies that start you off with an expectation, especially around casting, and then immediately pull the rug from under you and get rid of them right away.
Yep.
And one of the best ones of all time is The Other Guys. When you introduce The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson as the two badass hero cops who start off the movie by getting a celebration, and one of my favorite lines in the movie is, "We're out there having all the sex with the women, but we have to, we don't want to." As they're like talking about, "Oh, you guys do all our paperwork." Anyway, and then it culminates with them getting called out on another chase, to which The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson climb to the top of the building. They have to jump off to catch the burglar. They look at each other and say, "Aim for the bushes." And then they both just free fall off of a building to Foo Fighters' "There Goes My Hero." Mm-hmm. And there we go. And now the whole movie is about the other guys, because those are the ones that are dead. They were the guys.
Good job, Wesley.
Brandon, what's your favorite opening scene?
My favorite opening scene, I low-key had two of them, but I think I'm going to choose my second one and not my first one because it's equally as good. I said the Book of Eli.
Okay.
That the opening scene, Book of Eli, was just the trees, the fallout that you don't realize it's fallout until you kind of see what goes on. You think it's just snow, or it could be snow. I can't remember. I think because it looks like it's kind of ash, but either way it goes, it's actually really good, and then it kind of sets up the rest of the film for what you're going to get. We're
staying with Brandon. Brandon, what was the funniest moment for you of 2010?
The funniest moment of 2010, probably a movie I didn't see because I think it's fucking hilarious still, is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, when the vegan police come.
Yeah.
Fucks me up every fucking time. Funniest shit in the world.
We're better.
He was
than
like,
you.
What do you say? He said, I had gelato. That's not vegan. He said, no, that's milk and cream, bitch. Like, that shit's funny as hell to me. Yeah, milk and eggs. Yeah.
Their high five.
Oh God, that's that movie. Just the little subtle stuff in it.
I haven't watched that movie in so long. I gotta watch that again.
Thomas Jane is a fucking national treasure, dude. He doesn't get nearly enough credit for being as cool as he fucking is.
Yes.
And then, and it's all the amazing actors in there. They went on to go do amazing things, like what's the girl's name from Parks and Rec? Aubrey Plaza.
Yep.
Brie Larson. Like, you have all these other people that are just going on to do amazing shit afterwards. So That fucking vegan policeman, it kind of broke up the whole seriousness of that particular part of the film. And then if you call it serious, and it made it hilarious. I just loved it. I loved it.
Nice. Wesley, you sticking with the same movie? You're going to a different one?
I forgot to mention before I move on that my favorite opening scene backup was also Inception, just because of that like ultimate fake out that you get just by being deceived right away. But my funniest moment is not from the other guys as well, although it could have been, because I did almost get sucked into a rabbit hole of just watching clips from that as I was trying to... Anyway, but my funniest, kind of a cheater, it's every single death scene in Tucker and Dale. Specifically, the first one, I think, might be my favorite. That's the one where Tucker's sawing through the tree and he hits a beehive, so he starts running with his arms flailing around. And then another kid thinks he's chasing him, so he runs. Then they're running side by side, and they both look at each other, just both kind of confused. That's their side by side, until the kid just runs full force into a horizontal tree limb and just impales himself. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Or when the kid throws himself in the wood chipper.
See, I think the wood chipper is funnier, but the shock of that first one when he hits the tree is really good. Yeah.
The look that they share between them, like, why are you running?
Right. Yeah.
And then the wood chipper one is phenomenal because of the way it's shot. He's like trying to pull the guy out, but from the teens where they are, it looks like, he's pushing him in. And so the machine's going and going, and he's like frantically trying to pull, and then it stops finally. And he just looks down and he goes, "Are you okay?" As he's holding the legs of the body.
Emily, funniest moment.
I gotta go with Faisal in Four Lions accidentally blowing himself up in a sheep.
Yeah.
Because that is something that, I mean, I knew that this is from Four Lions, and I know, Brandon, did you watch it or no?
I didn't watch it. I didn't.
Dylan, did you watch it?
I should have.
No, I have not.
Okay, you guys need to watch it. Spoilers. They're trying to be suicide bombers, essentially. And just in the
Well, now I don't need to watch it.
Funniest.
No, you definitely do.
No, you have to. The stupidest and funniest parts
acting
of it just like build and build and build, and then this just happens, and he takes out a sheep, and they're just so fucking stupid, but so funny. Especially the aftermath as the guys are talking about, if he actually, I don't remember how they phrased it.
If he's a martyr.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They kept on talking about, is he a martyr or not for blowing up this sheep?
For blowing up Brother Sheep.
Yes. No, that's Brother Crow. Brother Crow. I also do want to honorable mention Knives Chow going, no. Always gets me.
Oh, every time.
Dylan, what do you got?
I'm going to go with the one scene that Wesley didn't take from Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That was funny. You dick.
Is it the other death?
No, I thought the gas station scene where Dale is going over there and he's got a sickle in his hands and walks over there and goes, just so awkwardly going like, what you got there? It just starts maniacally laughing because he's just so embarrassed or just so nervous and anxious. I just think that kind of sets the precedent for, all right, this is what you're going to be seeing now for the next like hour, this type of comedy, and it's damn good with how they do it.
I'm happy that I've got a movie that none of you brought up for funniest moment. I'm going MacGruber. And specifically the part where all the wrestlers that have just been recruited get blown up. And then MacGruber starts running around going, no.
Doesn't he say at one point, do you think they're okay?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Oh my God, him running around.
Fuck, I forgot that happened.
And what was it, like Chris Jericho and like the Great Khali and I don't know. I think those were the two wrestlers that I remember.
MVP and Kane and Mark Henry. Yeah.
Ben, your impression of him saying no was beautiful.
Thank you.
He was right on.
Let's go to favorite acting by a child or animal. Wesley, what do you got?
I forgot again to mention on the last one, my backup funniest moment was from Inception when Joseph Gordon-Levitt ties them up in the hotel room and they're all just floating around. Hilarious. Okay, but my favorite acting by a child or animal is I felt like there was really slim pickings this year, especially with ones that I've seen. So there are probably a lot more animals that I just wasn't aware of. So my pick is Black Swan.
No explanation. Ben, your turn.
It's kind of a manimal type thing there.
Did you know that animals, you can search for animals on IMDb? Like animals have IMDb pages.
Really?
And do you know that I knew that? Because I specifically wanted to find if Crystal the monkey was in any of the movies that we had seen, because she's my favorite. And somehow she's in a movie like multiple times a year, except for 2010. No Crystal in 2010.
Wow, that's too bad. It was tough times in Crystal's household in 2010.
Ben, your turn.
I went with a child. I took Chloe Grace Moretz in Kick-Ass. I thought she was incredible. The stunts that she performed were so good. The character was well realized, and the fact that she could play really well off of what is a batshit Nicolas Cage performance is really impressive. So Chloe Grace for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Emily.
You're all probably not going to count this, but I'm going with Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. He is the best animal in all of the movies.
Okay, I'll allow it. Brandon.
If I only have one, it's going to be Haley Steinfeld from True Grit. Bodied it. Best kid actress that year. I don't think anybody did any better.
It's a great pick.
She killed it.
Dylan.
What was your other pick?
I'm going to go with the Bees in Tucker and Dale.
Yeah, okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, good pick. Excellent pick.
That's wonderful.
Because that, again, kind of kicks off all the death and funny that follows throughout that whole movie. And it is probably the best death scene in the entire movie. Just because it's just so ludicrously funny and references, Texas Chainsaw, one of the best slashers, one of the most classic slashers ever made with the chainsaw. Just too funny of a scene, and the way they got those bees to go at it, too good.
Well, Wesley gets to go first again for the second time in a row, and Emily never gets to go first. Wesley, what is your favorite use of music?
Okay, well, the back of the kids' heads from Inception is also good kids acting. My favorite pick for music is obviously Scott Pilgrim, and it's the intro where he goes, "We are Sex Bomb, and we're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff." And then it kicks off into that badass drum beat. Yeah, that's one. That one.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I mean, the soundtrack is incredible.
Well, I wonder if anyone else is going to go Scott Pilgrim. Emily, what do you got?
I was going to go Scott Pilgrim, but I decided, you know what? It's the ending of Boy. It's the thriller haka that they do at the end. It is so fucking awesome, and it's so heartwarming. I say that word so fucking much, but it's about the same movie. just fucking great.
What would you have gone with for Scott Pilgrim, out of curiosity?
Probably shit, why can't I think of her name? Brie Larson's song.
Oh yeah.
Or So Sad.
Again.
So Sad was my second pick.
I would have gone with Kadinaga Twins.
Literally, let's just say Scott Pilgrim music. Done.
Yeah, it's good.
Brandon.
I had a few that I really liked, but I'm gonna go with one. Seriously, I had a few I really liked, but I'm gonna go with the good, the bad, and the weird. The chase scene, the music during the chase scene.
So good.
That was pretty dope. It kept me in it, so I really like that.
I'm glad someone called out that movie on this episode. Thank you, Brandon. Good one. I went with In the Hall of the Mountain King from Social Network. It's the scene where the two teams are rowing against each other in England.
Oh, yeah.
I love that it's like this little short film that kind of is separate from the entire rest of the movie, other than just some thematic threads that it ties together. So I love that they modernized that classical piece of music and did something interesting with it. Dylan.
I'm going to piggyback off you, Ben, and I'm just going to go with the entire Social Network score and or soundtrack. I know that Fincher gave that they had a private screening before they did the score and everything for Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor, that they got to see it and everything. But it's just so well written and well done that it just fits like a glove in that movie. There's no part in that movie where the music just doesn't make sense of it being there. And it keeps the plot moving too. It's something where it just drives the film.
Nice pick. A category that's just for Emily and I? Wait, that's something we watched this year? Emily, in looking back at the list of movies we did this past year, which one surprised you the most that was something we actually watched this year?
I had way too many, which is really sad.
Right?
But I will say, when you were doing the escape room last episode, which was phenomenal. If anyone hasn't listened to it, you need to. It was fucking incredible that he came up with this. It's Fish Tank. I fucking forgot about it.
Oh, yeah.
What a weird ass movie. I can't believe we watched that.
Yeah, I mean, mine comes from early in the year, too. Like, we watched Ghost Rider this year.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ghost Rider. Not Rider.
Yeah, that was
Rider.
Brandon,
you were on
movie.
for that episode. You just made a quizzical look like you didn't even remember we watched that.
I thought you said Rider. I'm like, really? I watched Ghost Rider? No, Ghost Rider was good though.
Ghost Rider was good, but I couldn't believe that was this year. Like I could have sworn that was 2.5 years ago that we watched that.
Yeah, I thought it was last year too. I was like going back, like, did we watch that too?
And which one's better, Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider is better than Ghost Rider. Moving on now. Overall favorite scene of the entire year, Wesley.
I mean, it should come as no surprise.
It does,
because I was on this episode and I raved about this being the winner of that movie. So, that's also the second place for my favorite noise. But my favorite scene is how they used gravity in slow motion, and specifically the scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the hotel, where he is floating around, fighting across ceilings, walls, and floor. That's my pick.
Okay, let's go to Dylan.
I'm going with a movie that I was not on the episode, but it still sticks in my mind, and that is the scene from Shutter Island between Leonardo DiCaprio and Jackie Earle Haley in the Supermax area of the asylum, when you see Jackie Earle is just beaten to hell and he's just all scarred up and everything, and it's just a creepy atmosphere. And Jackie Earle Haley is just a great underrated character actor in my opinion. Yeah, it has a great creepiness to it, and it really kind of makes the mystery more mysterious, where you think there's really something darker, a lot darker to it with it. So it's just a great scene, and I think it hits a point in the movie when it's kind of slow, when the movie's hitting a slow point, and then that picks it right back up.
I think I might be stealing Emily's with this.
Ooh,
I'm going...
Emily's going to say fuck.
Based on her shocked face, I don't think I am, but the single shot stadium scene from Secret in Their Eyes is my favorite scene of the entire year. The camera starts by flying in on a football stadium, and then follows the cops as they search for a suspect through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And then it leads into a chase through the stadium that ends on the field. It's an incredible 4.5 minutes of filmmaking. Definitely my favorite scene of the year. Brandon.
I got 5, but I'm gonna get down to. I'm gonna choose one that hasn't been talked about a whole lot that I really enjoy, and I still enjoy it to this day. Is the bridge scene in Book of Eli.
Okay.
When Denzel walks back into the shadows and this dog walks all those guys that come in.
That is
to me
cool.
When I think of old man badassery, that's what I think about. I can't. So that one. My other ones are the low light scenes in Blue Valentine. The coffin there's a part in True Grit where they do a transition where the coffin shuts and the door opens right afterwards. I think it's super slick. The good, the bad, and the weird. The train fight.
Yep.
And then the fight when the pretty boy is I can't think his name, the guy with who's got the repeater. He's the good. He's swinging on one of those lines and he's shooting people. That was amazing. And then Of course, Inception with the hallway fight, and I
Why
do
are you
like
giving so many? Sorry.
because they're dope. Because all of them are dope. I couldn't just choose one.
You gotta pick
And then,
one.
okay, so if I would pick one, it'd probably just be that Book of Eli one. But that kick scene too, when Paige opens up, his eyes open up. That's still sick to me every time I see it.
Well, Emily, he just named a bunch. Did he steal yours?
No, because he didn't watch Man from Nowhere.
Oh, that's right.
I will say that fight scene at the end, I might be romanticizing a little bit, but I have this memory of seeing this kind of white cream space that they're all in while our main character is fighting like dozens of really talented henchmen, not just like henchmen, but there's this reality to it where you do see our main character getting injured and also replacing his ammo, which is just like fucking incredible. And it is shot so well. It is exciting. You're not sure how it's gonna resolve because you have these really high stakes that I don't want to talk about because you should just fucking see it. So good.
Next category, favorite acting by an inanimate object. Brandon.
The tire and rubber.
That is the
Robert,
only answer.
No, there's so many answers.
No.
Robert the Tire is a good pick, though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Wesley, what do you got?
It's definitely, and Emily, I can't believe you forgot this, is the piece of celery
From MacGruber.
from MacGruber.
Oh no.
That celery
no.
did a lot of heavy
That
lifting
is some acting.
for a 0-calorie dessert.
I went with what I felt was the most obvious one, which is the greatest villain of any movie in 2010, and that's the train from Unstoppable. Just a powerhouse performance.
So fast.
Yeah, so fast.
So unstoppable.
Emily.
I decided to go good, bad, weird. The scuba diving helmet. It did such a
Yes.
great job of repelling the bullets and adding comedic
Forgot
effect.
about that.
So funny. Great. Just really, really heavy. It was a good time.
Dylan, finish us off.
All right, I got
Ooh.
2 from the same movie. Barry Pepper's spittle from True Grit was pretty damn good. That showed a lot
You're
of
right.
a lot of action to it. But also for a more serious one, Rooster's tobacco. How that kind of kept coming back into it, how she would roll his cigarettes, and it kind of started off the whole idea of that he really isn't that big of a loner, that he really does kind of need somebody around every now and then to be there for him. And we first see that when she starts rolling his cigarettes for him.
Shout out to the Boulder in 127 hours, which I feel didn't get enough love.
That's the other one
here. But
I'm surprised no one mentioned 127 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We're not done yet.
Oh, and the airplane from Dogtooth.
Yes.
That was on my list.
And the top from Inception.
Good one. Yeah. So many great performances from objects this year. Let's get into the took me out of it moment of the year. Dylan, which is the thing that took you out of the movie?
Sorry, I got to go with the big twist of the Book of Eli with Denzel being blind. It was just kind of like, it was a cool movie, and then once it got to that part, I was just like, oh, really? You got to, kind of do this with it. It kind of reminded me of watching Knowing, the Alex Proyas movie, where, it was so kind of cool and just batshit crazy and fun. And then you got to what the ending really was, and you're like, well, that's kind of dumb. But it just took me out of it.
Your opinion.
It's your opinion.
Well, that's what this is. This is an opinion. This is an opinion podcast, Emily. I don't know if you knew that.
Ben, I don't think you knew how much of a butt you are.
I do know. I'm a little upset that Dylan took mine when I had second pick. God damn it. You know what? I'm going to go with one of the most confusing movies that I watched this year, Valhalla Rising.
Oh, shit, yeah.
That entire movie just took me out of it. And then all of a sudden when you find out at the end that the kid somehow hears Mads Mikkelsen's character, his inner thoughts, that took me right out of it. That whole movie, I was never in that movie, so I don't know if it can take me out of it, but
I feel like I can hear Mads Mikkelsen's inner thoughts, though.
what's he thinking right
You hear
now?
that?
Wesley, get out of my head. Is that what he's thinking?
Swedish meatballs.
That's what he's always
He's at
thinking.
IKEA.
Brandon, what was your moment?
My moment was probably with a movie that I've watched before. I didn't watch during this podcast. Is Unstoppable. So there's a part that just took me, like, they have this camera shot where it kind of rotates around the front of the camera and comes around, and they did it like 7 too many times. And I'm like, this is terrible, and I could not get over the fact that they kept reusing this particular camera movement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of a sort of a technical thing, and I was like, I can't watch this anymore. This is really bad, and I couldn't do it.
Emily, what was your moment?
It happened in Easy A, actually. And if you listen to our Easy A episode, you'll probably remember me saying that. There's this throwaway gag that Huck Finn is an allegory for homosexuality. And I was like, it is? And it completely took me out of the movie. And so I have literally spent way too much time thinking about this, not researching, just thinking. And it has completely changed my perspective of, I don't know where this came from. And my English teacher, I feel like, didn't teach me enough, or this is just bullshit. I don't know.
Hey, Emily, what you call not doing research and just thinking, that qualifies these days.
Yep. Yep.
Take that, society.
Wesley, give us your moment.
Okay, I kind of already mentioned the one I was gonna pick, which is the King's Speech mouth noises, because it literally, Ben was watching it over here with me, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. But my one that I'm gonna pick is Hot Tub Time Machine, because, be for real, those guys don't ski.
Okay.
No
Fair
fucking
point.
way.
Favorite ending, and I get to go first.
And you're taking mine.
A movie we haven't talked about yet, am I?
Oh, you are.
I'm
taking
going with
mine.
the ending of Monsters, which is the monsters kind of dancing in the moonlight with each other, and then we find out that the movie loops back in on itself, and the beginning that we saw is really the ending. That ending caused me to actually rewatch the beginning of the movie right after, just to see the continuity piece of it, and I thought that was really well done, and really saved a movie from winding up on my "we watched that this year" list, because I do remember that ending so well.
Yeah, those monsters were fucking cool. I forgot about that, honestly, until you said that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Wesley.
Also, Elliot Page's totem, that is a chess piece that just falls a random direction being her totem. Complete bullshit. Took me right out of it. But my favorite ending is the Scott Pilgrim final boss battle / the fight with Nega Scott.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a great culmination. It's nothing new as far as storyline goes, as far as like a conquering hero completing the tasks and solving things, but it was still done in that Edgar Wright, the whole video game style, and it's just beautiful and fun.
Emily.
I have to go with Black Swan's ending because of just specifically Natalie Portman's performance is just so fucking good, but also you just don't know what happens and it fades to white, and I love that.
Brandon.
I had a few, but I'm gonna go with my top one. My top one is Animal Kingdom.
Oh,
when he walks in there and he just smokes, dude, I would have done that a long time ago. So that was the one that I was like, yeah, that's exactly what should have happened.
Dylan.
I'm going with the post-credit scene of The Fighter, where we actually get to see the real Mickey and Dickie. Just because, like I said, the beginning of the movie shows how these characters are in this town. But I really think that the ending really shows that this is really how these people are. That you can't, Christian Bale's performance is so outlandish, and it's like there's no way he's overdoing this. There can't be a way that this guy's this way. So that last like minute and a half or whatever it is of showing what he really is like. It's like, well, okay. That hit it out of the park for me because I was like, okay, now I actually get to see what these people were really like. And yeah, Christian Bale hit it out of the park.
Our last category, most deserving of a reboot, prequel, sequel. Wesley, which movie needs one?
I just can't believe that nobody mentioned one of the most cliffhanger, nobody knows what happened in the endings of Inception, where the didn't fall or not. But I think most deserving of a sequel is The Social Network. Oh, how the turntables. Because I want to see, and not necessarily right now either, but I think someday, I think a social network with whatever the hell happens to Zuckerberg is gonna happen, and I think it'll be good.
You know, I do remember hearing talks that was one in the works. That was a couple years ago, though, so that might have been pre-pandemic.
Until something happens.
I agree. That.
I want to see another Sorkin walk and talk.
Yeah. Brandon.
Again, I got a few, but the one I have at the top is Valhalla Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he was just beating everybody's ass in the beginning, and he's tied up to like a tree or whatever, or like that post. I want to know what he was before that.
The prequel.
And I want to know how he got, and I want to know how he got caught in order to be where he was at. So that's, and I want to know how he lost his eye. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I want to know about that particular character.
Dylan, what do you got?
I think Monsters could do with a reboot.
Oh, a reboot. Interesting.
Yeah, they did make a sequel to it that did horrible. It was not very good. I think a reboot, just with giving it a little bit bigger budget, just so we can maybe see a little bit more of the threat of what these monsters are. You know, and I'm not saying more like death scenes or anything like that, but just more stuff kind of in the background of stuff moving around and just more special effects, I think, could have been put into the movie to make it a little bit more menacing.
Emily.
I think there really should be an Other Guys sequel.
Yeah.
The other guys?
So, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. The other guys. But there's like, an Anchorman 2.
Mm-hmm.
And just this, I know it's not like in universe, but it seems kind of in universe. These just ridiculous movies that I don't remember I don't remember the director's name, but you guys do. So I really think that this does deserve a sequel of just chaotic humor.
Yeah, I definitely watch that.
I hate to say we'll never see it after they had their breakup.
Yeah.
We'll never see that again.
My sequel, I think, might be something that I've already mentioned on an episode, but I want a sequel to Easy A that follows Stanley Tucci and Patricia Clarkson.
Yes. So like a reboot or like a sequel?
No, I want a sequel that kind of like This Is 40, where the supporting characters are given like a chance to lead the movie.
But actually good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want it at all like Apatow-ish. I don't want any of that garbage. I think what I want is like a modern parallel for another classic piece of literature. Like I want them to do like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf or some other player movie like Streetcar Named Desire, something like that, where, you know, they're playing on what Easy A did by adapting the Scarlet Letter.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to be Stanley?
Stanley will be Stanley.
I know, that's how I was like, really?
My Zaddy.
Zaddy. That's just an amazing movie, man. I walked out of that film loving that movie. Once I walked out of there, I talked about that movie forever. I loved it. I actually showed that movie in school. Like when I was teaching, I showed it like, if you're going to watch this movie, it's good.
Nice. That is it for our 2010 wrap-up episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, please like, rate, subscribe, share us with a friend or two, follow us on social media. 2011 is coming up. We're going to tackle the movies in the same way we did this year with a little bit of twist. We're going to add some what we call trailer picks, where someone on our podcast will watch two different trailers and pick which movie they're going to watch. Of the two, we're going to continue to do Wheel of Trash. We've got Brandon, Wesley, and Dylan coming on for every third episode. You're going to see some structure changes in the episode. And I think the biggest change is going to be that we are going to go under a different title. And you'll still be able to find us in the same way because our production company is going to stay I Drink Your Podcast Productions. So you can still search us that way. But you will find us also under What Are You, 12? which is a reference to the fact that we're doing movies that are 12 years old, and also Dylan's a little immature, specifically Dylan. The rest of us, we're adults, but Dylan kind of acts like a 12-year-old all the time, and it's pretty gross.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna lean into it. But with a new title is also going to come some new artwork, a new opening music change, and we're really excited to continue on this journey as we search for the best movies of 2010s. Again, thank you. My name's Ben. We got Wesley.
So I think that a sequel could also be made from Inception, where we actually find out about, a prequel for Cobb and Maul's adventures before.
Worst.
I'm coming to your house.
Stick around. I'll be here all year.
Yeah. We also got Dylan.
Yeah. Excited for
Brandon.
next year. I'm excited for spookies.
Yeah. Brandon.
Leave it. Leave it.
He paused.
Everybody drank way too much.
he paused.
Way too much.
I didn't drink at all.
Yeah, hey. Take it easy, y'all. I guess I don't know.
And lastly, Emily. Emily, excited to keep going on this journey with you.
Fuck yeah. It's going to be an awesome time.
Woo.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, take it easy, y'all.
Boy.